Good day everyone, we are the group 4 and we're going to discuss about the muscle activity involved in driving. So basically this discussion will aim to answer the following questions. Number 1, identify the muscles involved while driving, locate these muscles that are involved in driving, and explain how do these muscles help in driving. The topics that will be covered are hand and wrist muscles, arm muscles, foot muscles, leg muscles, and eye and neck muscles. What muscles are used when driving a car? It may not seem like it, but driving a car requires the use of many muscles. From turning the steering wheel to depressing the pedals, your muscles are constantly working to keep you safe on the road. So now let's talk about the major muscles that are used when driving a car. Let's start with the hand muscles.
We are going to talk about the different muscles in the body that is being used when driving. First, let's talk about the hand muscles. Hand muscles are divided into two groups, the extrinsic and the intrinsic. Extrinsic hand muscles have their origin within the forearm. It mostly controls crude movements and produce a forceful grip. While on the other hand, intrinsic hand muscles are muscles that originate in the hand. Sinasabi na they don't have much power and mabilis silang mangalay. But they have a lot of dexterity, which means marami silang kayang magawa. Under intrinsic, nariyan ang thenar muscles that act on our thumb. And then there's three of them. First is abductor pollicis brevis, which is located in this part. It is the abductor of our thumb. Next is the flexor pollicis brevis, the flexor of the thumb. And lastly, an opposer of the thumb opposition called opponens pollicis brevis. It is not really that accurate since it is a group of muscles, but what more important is their function. Under intrinsic muscles again, we also have the hypothenar muscles that act on our little finger. And then there's also three of them. First, abductor digiti minimi means minimize small digit. It acts as the abductor of the little finger. Next, flexor digiti minimi that will flex our pinky. And opponents digiti minimi, the one will oppose the pinky or our little finger touching the thumb. We also have the lumbrical muscles. They are 4 in number and are associated with the finger movement, such as deflection and extension, abduction and adduction.
So next would be the intersay muscles. So the intersay muscles of the hand can be thought of as the cornerstone of hand function as they provide the foundation for all intrinsic and extrinsic hand movements. It is divided into two groups, namely the palmar and dorsal intersay muscles. And there are 3 small palmar intersay muscles that are attached to the ring, index, and little fingers that are primarily involved in the adduction of fingers and assist in flexion and extension. Dorsal intersay muscles, on the other hand, there are 4 of them, and they abduct the fingers. So how do these muscles help in driving? The intersay muscles are intrinsic muscles of the hand located between the metacarpals. So metacarpals are here and they lie in between here. And these help so much in driving because they are innervated by the ulnar nerve and organized in dorsal and palmar layers. These pivotal muscles have small exertion, yet great impact on finger balance, grip, and pinch function. So when we drive a vehicle, whether it's a car, a motorcycle, a bicycle, we have to grip the steering wheel. And this intersay muscle helps in our grip strength so that hindi natin mabitawan yung manibela. And next would be the adductor pollicis muscles. So adductor pollicis muscles is a triangular intrinsic muscle of the hand that belongs to a group called thenar muscles. It is comprised of 2 heads, the oblique and transverse. And these muscles extend from the 3rd metacarpal and carpellate bone to the base of the 1st proximal phalanx. And adductor pollicis is the most powerful of the intrinsic muscles of the hand. Its main function is the adduction of the thumb, which is the movement of the thumb towards the index finger from an abducted position. And how does this help in driving? This action is very essential for functions that require pinching and gripping. So much like the intersay muscles, these adductor pollicis muscles also help in gripping so that we have a firm grasp doon sa steering wheel, sa manibela, or whatever that is. And biceps and triceps The biceps brachii, commonly known as the biceps, is a large, thick muscle on the ventral portion of the upper arm, while triceps brachii, however, is a large, thick muscle on the dorsal part of the upper arm. And their main functions, biceps, are flexion and supination, or it is the outward rotation of the forearm. And this is facilitated in part by the 90-degree rotation of the muscle as it connects to the radius. Triceps, on the other hand, is the extension of the forearm at the elbow point. In addition, its long head contributes to the extension and adduction of the arm at the shoulder joint. So, how do these biceps and triceps help in driving? So, contracting the biceps makes the elbow bend, while contracting the triceps makes the elbow extend. And since they are situated opposite from one another in the upper arm, when the biceps contract, the triceps relax and vice versa. So, these mechanisms of these two muscles makes them opposing muscles or antagonists and partner muscles at the same time. And since they are opposing muscles, both cannot contract simultaneously. One must relax for the other to contract. And these mechanisms of the biceps and triceps allow for better control of movements. So when driving, we shift gears, we move from left to right, we turn around, and then we move side to side and all that. And this biceps and triceps helps with that movement.
As we all know naman, the feet are important in driving, specifically because it helps the car to drive faster. Important while driving yung feet muscles kasi it's responsible sa pag-press down ng paa sa gas pedal para bumilis yung takbo ng sasakyan. For us to drive the car faster, of course, our feet need to exert enough force to sustain the speed of the car. And as I have said earlier, magpa-function lang ang feet natin kapag present and properly working ang mga feet muscles. So yung mga muscles sa feet natin ay ang gastrocnemius muscle, soleus muscle, and yung tibialis muscles. Isa sa mga sumusuporta sa feet ay ang calf muscles. Yung calf muscles, makikita natin ito sa likod ng lower leg natin at sa likod ng shin bone. And in general, ang purpose ng calf muscles is to support us kapag nakatayo tayo and also para rin may galaw natin yung foot and yung lower leg natin. So this part is also important when driving because ito yung tumutulong din pangdagdag force sa pag-press ng foot natin sa gas pedal while driving. So calf muscles have two main muscles, the gastrocnemius muscle and the soleus muscle. Yung gastrocnemius muscle, ito yung large muscle sa likod ng lower leg natin, pababa sa Achilles tendon na kadalasan ay bumabakat sa lower leg kasi ito yung muscle na nasa ilalim ng mismo ng skin natin. Yung Achilles tendon, ito yung tendon na nag-a-attach ng gastrocnemius muscle, soleus muscle at ng plantaris sa heel bone natin. Yung isa naman is yung soleus muscle which is also located sa lower leg natin and pababa rin ito hanggang Achilles tendon. Itong soleus muscle, mas slightly deeper yung placement niya sa lower leg compared sa gastrocnemius muscle. So, nasa posterior siya ng gastrocnemius muscle. So, combining these two muscles, they support and help us walk, run, and jump when driving. It supports the feet and nagdadagdag siya ng force sa feet para mapabilis yung takbo ng sasakyan. Isa pang muscle ay yung sa shin. Ito yung mga muscles na kino-consider as dorsiflexors kasi itong mga muscles na to yung nagpupul ng foot upward. So, in the shin bone or also known as tibia, there are two main muscles, the tibialis anterior muscle and the tibialis posterior muscle. Yung tibialis anterior muscle ay makikita sa anterior part ng lower leg natin and ito rin yung nasa harap ng tibia or ng shin bone. The other one naman ay yung tibialis posterior muscle. This muscle is considered as the deepest muscle located in the posterior side ng lower leg natin, particularly sa tibia, fibula, and sa interosseous membrane. This muscle helps naman sa plantar flexion ng foot. With these two muscles, we can do activities such as walking, hiking, or kicking, and when it comes naman sa driving, important itong dalawang ito for dorsiflexion and plantar flexion kapag i-press and i-release yung gas pedal.
Another major muscles that are used for driving are leg muscles. Leg muscles, beside foot muscles, which were previously discussed, are the primary muscles that do the majority of work when it comes to driving. Particularly, the main muscles included in this are the quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes. All of these three work together to help push the pedal down. To further understand these divisions, the quadriceps femoris muscle is a hip flexor and a knee extensor, which means it helps move our legs and knees up our body. Example is any movement that brings the knee closer to the chest. Quadriceps consists of four individual muscles. First one is the vastus lateralis, which originates from the greater trochanter and the lateral lip of linea aspera. Second is vastus intermedius, which is located in the anterior and lateral surfaces of the femoral shaft. Third is vastus medialis, which can be seen in the intertrochanteric line and medial lip of linea aspera. Fourth individual muscle is rectus femoris, which originates from the ilium, just superior to the acetabulum. It runs straight down the leg and attaches to the patella by the quadriceps femoris tendon. These muscles in your legs are used when you press the car's pedal. The quadriceps, which is located in front of the thigh, is the primary muscle employed. When you press down on the pedal, this muscle is employed to strengthen the leg. The quadriceps all work to extend the knee. The rectus femoris also flexes the hip, while the vastus medialis adducts the thigh and also extends and externally rotates the thigh and stabilizes the kneecap. Next leg muscle is the hamstrings, which are the three muscles in the back of the thigh. Biceps femoris is located in the posterior compartment of the thigh, while semitendinosus is found in the posterior and medial aspect of the thigh. Lastly, semimembranosus muscle rounds down the posterior medial aspect of the thigh and inserts at the posterior medial aspect of the knee. These muscles work together to produce and control movements both at the knee and hip joint. Thus, these are used while pushing up and driving a car. Gravity will essentially direct the muscles that will raise you up to slow your descent as you progress through the lowering phase. The glutes are one of the strongest muscles in your body, consisting of three major muscles. The gluteus minimus, which is located beneath gluteus medius muscle. The gluteus medius, found on the lateral aspect of the upper buttock below the iliac crest. And the gluteus maximus, which is known as the largest and heaviest muscle in the body. It is the most superficial of all gluteal muscles that are located at the posterior aspect of the hip joint. Glute's biggest job is keeping us upright and pushing our bodies forward. These muscles also help produce power when pedaling and are found in the hip's anterior part that work eccentrically, meaning they contract and then release when they move. Your glutes are one of the most important riding muscles, and they are considered as the powerhouse of your movement.
Next naman ay ang eye muscles or extraocular muscles. It consists of 6 muscles which are 4 rectus or recta in plural and 2 obliques. So superior rectus, its primary function is to elevate the eye. Yung superior rectus, located siya rito, and pag sinabing elevation, ang mangyayari from the center, upward yung movement. Next naman is inferior rectus. Its primary function is to depress the eye. So from the center, magkakaroon siya ng downward movement. Next naman is lateral rectus. Its primary function is to abduct the eye, and it has no secondary function. So kapag sinabing lateral rectus, hindi naman na siya horizontal, kundi vertical yung parang division niya. So from the center, pag sinabing abduction, magmo-move palayo sa midline of the body. Next naman is medial rectus. Its primary function is to adduct the eye, and it has no secondary function. Kapag sinabing adduction, yun naman yung opposite ng abduction. So, from the center, lilin siya papunta sa midline of the body. Next naman is superior oblique. So, ang magandang palatandaan naman pagdating sa oblique muscles, O may also stand for opposite. So, ibig sabihin, kahit nakaposition yung superior oblique dito, yung movement niya is pababa. It is attached to the trochlea, and yung secondary function niya is depression and abduction. So, imagine niyo lang na pag ganon. Next naman is yung inferior oblique. Yung inferior oblique, located naman siya dito, and dahil nga opposite, yung movement niya is pataas, which means elevation and abduction. So, yung primary function naman nito is extorsion or away from the nose. So, parang pag ganon. Yung isa naman kasi parang papunta siya from the top of the eye towards the nose. After the eye, we also have muscles in the neck such as sternocleidomastoid muscle. So ito yung matatagpuan na konektado sa sternum, clavicle, and sa mastoid process. Yung function nito is to flex the neck both laterally and anteriorly. So kapag tumingin ka sideways, makakapa mo siya rito. And kapag tinilt mo yung head mo, makakapa mo rin na nag-extend siya sa opposite. Next naman ay ang trapezius muscle, and kaya siya tinawag na trapezius because of its shape sa likod natin, which is like trapezoid. So mararamdaman natin siya kapag nag-shrug tayo ng shoulders, and ang purpose din nito is to support the arm. Lastly, the scalenes help stabilize, flex, and rotate the neck. So meron siyang 3 pairs of muscles in the lateral neck, which is the scalenus anterior, scalenus medius, and scalenus posterior. So ano nga ba yung function ng eyes and neck muscles pagdating sa driving? So for our eyes, na-execute ng muscles na to yung movements such as smooth pursuit, optokinetic reflex, and vestibulo-ocular reflex, na kung saan magagamit yung movements na yon para maging alerto and para matignan kung magkakaroon man ng obstacles along the road. So in order to prevent accident, it's crucial to utilize our eyes to make informed and quick decisions to navigate safely. About sa neck naman, although the eye muscles are crucial in driving, 180 degrees lang approximately yung nakikita niya sa field. So using the neck, drivers can rotate and see different perspective, and magagamit siya sa pagmamaneuver like parallel parking na kung saan nagre-required na tumingin sa likod or over the shoulder habang nakaupo and nagde-drive backward. And that's the end of our group report. Once again, thank you for listening.